Thank you for joining us on Christian Fitness. We are so happy that you let us come into your home and that we are your workout coaches. Or, yeah, I like that. I like the fact that we're coaching you how to stay healthy, and we hope that it benefits you in a great way because we know God is with you. And today we've got an awesome show. We're going to talk about Proverbs 16:9, about the Lord directing our steps. We're going to talk about exercising recommendations and exercise your heart.
Exactly. Building a stronger heart. That's kind of the theme of what we're doing right now. This is just building a stronger heart. The heart is a muscle, and you can actually exercise it, make it stronger, and we're going to talk about that today. But we also are going to get on our jump sport trampolines and have a blast on those. So stay tuned for that. Of course, you can exercise if you don't have a trampoline. You can do everything just from your floor. But we'd love for you to join us today and exercise with us. Don't just sit on the couch and watch. You've got to be active. You can't build a stronger heart by just sitting there and watching. You've got to actually get up and be active with us. Lori talked about the Proverbs that we wanted to talk about today. So we love to just give you a quick little devotional. And today is only 2 quick little lines, but man, there's so much there. It's so powerful. It's beautiful. So it's Proverbs 16:9, and we're just reading out of the New King James.
A man's heart plans his ways, but the Lord directs his steps. That's it. But that's not it.
Is that it? Is that
that's
simple?
Not all.
Life is that simple?
Yeah, life is actually life is that simple if you let the Lord direct your steps.
Well, I love it says the man's heart plans his way. And I truly believe that the Lord has planted in each one of us our desires. I mean, people have different passions. It could be for missions. It could be for the lost. It could be for the homeless. It could be for whatever your passion is. I truly believe that the Lord plants that in your heart, and then you foster it, and then He guides and directs that. So we have a plan of, Laura and I both have a heart to see people live a more abundant life, including physically, to be physically more active, more healthy physically, so you can fulfill the spiritual things in your life. That's one of our passions. The Lord knows that, so I feel like He directs our paths. He directs,
absolutely.
I mean, He helped us guide and launch this program. He helps us to minister to people in that facet. But if you're pursuing the things of God, and that's what this proverb says, a man's heart plans his way. So we have these ideas of things we want to do for the Lord. And it says, but the Lord directs the steps. In other words, we've got to release and surrender to Him and say, okay, Lord, I've got this desire to do this one thing. He's going to direct those steps. So we have to walk through the doors. It says, keep your hands to the plow, don't look back. In other words, the past doesn't reflect your future. You can't look at the past and go, oh, well, this failed, or this didn't work, or I've got this baggage that I'm trying to bring forward. He's saying, no, step forward. Just follow in the steps that He has planned. Don't look back. Don't look to the left or the right. The righteous will follow His steps. So as long as you have a pursuit of the things of God, He is going to direct your steps.
I absolutely agree with you. If you think about a man's heart, or woman, or child, or whoever, but when you think about the plans that you make, does it line up with what God says you are? Does it line up with who He says you are? Because God lives in you. You have the Holy Spirit living in you, leading you and directing you. And when you're following the Lord and you know the Word, when you go by what the Word says, who you are more than a conqueror. You can do all things through Christ. Everything that God says you are, when your heart lines up with who God says you are, then it makes it so much easier to follow the steps that God has already planned. Because He says, but the Lord directs your steps. So if you're following those directed steps, peace is there, God's presence is there, His wisdom is there. It's knowing that you are following what God's put in you to do. If you have an idea and you're not at peace, this is how I like to apply the word. If you have an idea and you're not sure about it, you don't feel peaceful about it, or you just feel like, wow, this is just not something. If that's the case, then you probably need to go back to the Lord and say, Lord, I know you said in your word that you direct my steps. So because you're going to direct my steps, I want to be led by you. Is this something you're directing? Is this my idea, or is this your idea that you put in me? And what do I need to do to continue to get there? What do I need to do to continue to go in that direction so that I can walk in those steps? Because when you do, peace is there. When God directs your steps, and doors are open, you walk in them. You don't have to kick a door open. You don't have to force. You don't have to, none of those are from God. Those might be our desire or our flesh or whatever you want to call that.
Try to kick the door down.
Right. But it's when God directs a step, there's an ease to it. There's a comfort to it. There's a peace to it. There's wisdom. Everything that God promises he'll give you is right there when you follow him. And when you do, you know that you are walking in his will because he's directed those steps. That's the will of God for you. So it really is thinking, it's so simple.
And if you have a doubt, just look at what the word says. The word says you're more than a conqueror. You're the head and not the tail. You're above and not beneath. You have to just, okay, this is what the word says, so that's what I'm going to do. That's the will of God, is what the word says about you and about what he wants. He wants us to pray for the sick. He wants us to lay hands on them. He wants us to pray for our enemies. So it's really easy to say, oh, here's what God wants. That's the path I need to take, and then he's going to open the doors for you. So how do you apply the word? Lori said it really succinctly. Peace is your umpire. You'll have peace about it. You may be a little nervous or apprehensive if the Lord says, let's say at a grocery line, hey, pay for that woman's groceries behind you. You might go, oh, no, that can't be it. You may be a little nervous about it, but you'll have peace knowing that, you know what, the Lord's asked me to do this. I'm going to bless this person. Then you have peace, even if you do it in the face of anxiety and some other things that may come about you. But anyway, if you're being a blessing, then you shouldn't be anxious about it. So that's how we apply the word.
I like to use a guide when the Lord asks you to do something. He'll continue to keep that in your heart. He'll continue, and that's him directing your steps. He'll continue to prompt you the same thing over and over and over again. And he's waiting for you to trust him enough to know that he's speaking to you and guiding you in this direction and to do it. And then the joy, you become so full of his joy and his peace. So that's a good guide for you.
Absolutely. So that's how we apply it. Just, oh man, what an amazing scripture. We encourage you, go read that entire proverb, that whole 16.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's powerful. We just wanted to bring you the one devotion for today. But we do have a healthy life tip, and I'm fascinated by this one. It's one of my favorite parts of the show, so we always bring these great facts forward. But today's comes from the ACSM, which is the American College of Sports Medicine. That's where I have my personal trainer license. I'm a certified personal trainer through the American College of Sports Medicine. But also the CDC, and this is their recommendation, 150 minutes of moderate to intense aerobic activity every week, and then 2 times per week, they recommend muscle strengthening activities that work all major muscle groups. What I love about this is it includes the CDC, which is, of course, the Centers for Disease Control. So you think about this, wait a minute, the Centers for Disease Control are there to help us control diseases, prevent diseases, and what's their recommendation? It's not, I mean, of course, they have other recommendations of, wash your hands and do things that make sense, but one of their recommendations for disease control or prevention is exercise, which I'm fascinated by that. I love that. So they're saying, look, if you get this much exercise, you can help stave off all these different issues that can crop up in your life.
Well, if you think about it, we're always promoting moving and moving as much as possible because we want your heart strong. We want your body strong. It's not about losing weight. It's not about being skinny and all that. It's about being healthy and strong and living life well. And when you're moving, you're pumping your heart, which is a muscle, just like your arms or anything else, but you're pumping your heart, so you're exercising that muscle. And what we did this in another show where it talked about when you pump your heart, you're actually pumping oxygen throughout the body because the oxygen is flowing through your blood.
And your blood carries all the nutrients.
Right.
So basically it's just the efficiency of your engine. A stronger heart increases the efficiency of your engine. All right, their recommendation is 150 minutes. Divide that time 7 days a week. That's just over 20 minutes a day, minimum. I mean, that's 20 minutes a day is not that hard to do. We've got about 20 minutes left in the the show today. So we are going to try to get almost 20 minutes of exercise in for the rest of the show today. So join us. We're going to start off by just a quick warm up by walking. So a great way to warm up before you do any intense, as it said, vigorous, intense aerobic activity is to warm up. Walking is a great way to do that.
And we love these because these are brand new. Jump Sport has sponsored us in providing these, and they'll provide them for you as well. All you have to do is go on our website. Right. But these are amazing. I've never been on, we've been on lots of trampolines, lots of little, rebounders. This is probably the best I have ever been on.
Yeah, they are fantastic.
It's amazing. So these are by Jump Sport.
Yeah. So we thank Jump Sport for partnering with Christian Fitness, but amazing company, Christian company, by the way. But anyway, let's start off now that we should be a little bit warm from marching. We're gonna start on the bottom of our body and work our way up. We're gonna do a leg workout today. So we're gonna start with calves. So you just wanna raise up on your toes and down. Just real simply, up on your toes and down. And again, you don't have to have a trampoline. We absolutely encourage them because this increases your balance, your flexibility.
Helps your core because you're working on your balance.
But you don't need them. I mean, I can do them down here. So now let's point our toes out. Same thing. We're still working our calves. So you point your toes out. Just come up on your toes. You can hold it for a second.
It's a good stretch if you hold it.
You're stretching and building strength at the same time. Then we point our toes in. It's a little harder. You come up on your toes and just hold it for a second.
Do this 20 times. You'll feel it, I promise. Even after.
But what I love about the trampoline is you actually get to work more of those small twitch muscles because you have to balance. So what you do on the ground is difficult enough, but on this you're actually balancing on your toes, so you're using more muscles. And then they have these handy little bars that you can get as well that if you feel like you're gonna lose balance, you can just grab onto that, and it's really, really helpful for that. So anyway, now your calves should be a little bit loose. We're gonna warm up our thighs now, working our way up the body. We're just do little tiny squats. So just squat down a few inches and come back up. Just little simple squats. Again, if you need assistance, you can hold onto your couch, you can hold onto the bar if you have one of these. But just little squats, nice and slow and balanced, controlled. And again, don't lean forward. You want to act like you're actually sitting on your couch, so your hips move back. Hips just come back as if you're going to have a seat.
By the way, we didn't really do a big warm-up, so we do encourage you. Warm up before you do these things. You may feel it different, like your knees and things like that, so it's important to do a warm-up.
All right, well, let's work some leg strength now. We're going to take our left leg and just do a single leg lift. So on one leg, just lift up your left leg.
Oh, you're not switching.
Yeah, we're just going to do the left leg about 5 or 10 times. Just a simple leg lift. And again, if you're on a trampoline,
yeah, it's hard to keep your
really
balance.
have to balance. Bar, again, is great just to hold yourself. So just do about 10 nice leg lifts. You'll start to feel it in your thigh. And then we'll switch. We'll go to the right leg.
Oh, I was doing opposite as usual.
And just something as simple as this. Because you're using so many large muscle groups, the largest muscle groups in your body are your leg up, your thighs up through your back pocket. This entire region, largest muscle group in the body. So when you use these like we're doing right now, you're going to get more aerobic exercise than you would just doing, let's say, a curl, an arm curl. Good, now let's go to the side. So we're going to switch and just lift your left leg out to the side.
You keep your foot out flat, then you can actually graze the floor, or like this, we can graze this, and helps you do this lift higher.
What I love about this is you're actually working the hip flexor, which there aren't a lot of exercises that do that, like the squat and the calf raise. You don't work on flexibility as much as you're working on strength. This works strength and flexibility. So yeah, okay, let's switch. We'll do that for like 10 minutes. Sorry, I start talking, forget what we're doing. But anyway, so you're working the flexibility and strength at the same time.
I don't even think we've counted, so I have no idea where we are with this.
Well, what I love to do is in between exercises to keep your heart rate elevated is maybe march. You can get your knees way up if you want to get your heart rate up higher.
I didn't activate
You
my
can do a scissor step. And you can just do this on the ground. You don't have to have the trampoline.
Don't forget, if you have something that monitors what you're doing, like I just remembered and I needed to activate my watch, I forgot. But it's a great way for measuring how you're doing.
Here, while we're walking, I'm going to walk over to the tower. Keep walking at home. Don't stop.
Yes.
We wanted to share a quick fact with you about building a stronger heart. That's our whole theme, is building that muscle, which is your heart, building a stronger heart. Aerobic exercise on a fitness trampoline, since we're talking about our jump sport trampolines today, strengthens your heart and muscles, improves cardiovascular performance. This allows you to reach your target zone faster, stay in the zone with less stress on your body. Your heart can pump more blood with fewer beats, which means you can lower your resting heart rate. Regularly working your heart harder during exercise improves its overall function so that it doesn't have to work as hard during normal activities. And Lori kind of mentioned that earlier, so keep walking at home. We're going to keep our walking. Lori mentioned that earlier. You build a stronger heart. When you build that muscle up, it doesn't have to work as hard the rest of the day.
Right.
So we may work it hard for this 20 minutes, or you may do 40 minutes or an hour at home. Those other 23 hours of the day, your heart is going to be more efficient, so it's not going to have to work as hard. That's why we're trying to build a stronger heart.
You know, there's so many benefits to all of the things that we're trying to encourage you with. And one of them is when you exercise every day and you're getting the blood flowing through your whole entire body and you're working out your heart, when you go to bed at night, you're going to sleep better.
Absolutely.
So because sleep is important, we were talking about that with one of our crew today, and sleep is so important, but it's when you exercise, your body's functioning right, and then it functions well when you're sleeping. Get a better night's sleep. I forgot to walk harder when I'm talking.
All right, let's work a little more leg strength. We're gonna step back. So we're gonna step off of our jump sport trampoline and then just lift. So you're almost doing like a little one-leg squat or a lunge. So you step to the rear and come back up. So we're just doing little one-leg squats. You don't have to have a trampoline. You can easily just do this at home. You just do it from here. You just step back, dip down, and then lift back up. So you step back and dip back up. Good, let's do the other side. Step back and lift. Back and lift. Now you can see how much my ankle is working on the stability of having the trampoline. It's great for rehab.
Mm-hmm. This is, even you do it long enough, it's great cardio.
Oh, absolutely. Again, we're working some of the largest muscle groups in the body, so you should really feel your body starting to heat up. But nice one-legged lunges / squats, step-ups.
So if you're doing this, whether you're doing this on a trampoline or on the floor, you're gonna feel this in your legs, your thighs, the back, all the way up, which is awesome.
Actually, speaking of the back, we didn't do that. We did a forward leg lift and a side leg lift. Let's do a rear leg lift. This is really good to increase the strength in your lower back, but just bring your leg up behind and down. Just lift your leg up behind.
This is really good for people that, you know, we hear a lot of people say they have sciatica problems. Stretching is really good for that. Walking is even better, but because it's stretching out this muscle that's all the way across the back.
Switch. Again, you don't need, the jump sports for this. You can do this. I do like to be able to hold on to something.
Just do it this way.
There you go.
Great for balance. So yeah, you don't have to have that. I switched legs again, just because I felt like I was getting such a good exercise on the floor. I wanted to make sure it was even.
And then again, we encourage you to walk in between each exercise just to keep your heart rate elevated. So as the CDC and the American College of Sports Medicine recommended, at least 150 minutes a week, but that's actually keeping the heart rate up. So you don't want to do an exercise and then sit for a minute and a half or 2 minutes and rest. You want to keep that heart rate elevated the entire time. So like Lori mentioned it earlier, start your watch or your pedometer, or if you have a cell phone, make sure that you're engaged on that app, the phone app that will test your heart rate.
Well, one of the ways too, if you're not on one of these at home yet, we hope you'll get one of these because they're amazing. But if you're not and you're at home and you're just walking at home, make sure you really use your arms. Really move your arms, because when you're moving your arms, that means you're pumping, you're pumping your arms, so that means you're pumping your heart. So really use your arms, activate the whole body.
All right, while we're walking, I'm gonna walk back to the tower. Got another great fact to share with you. Just more advantages of building up a stronger heart. Lowers your blood pressure. A lot of people would love to hear that.
Exercise is a stress reliever, but rebounding especially can lower your blood pressure by increasing the red blood cell count and allowing oxygen to move faster through the body. Exactly what we were talking about before.
Right.
This is just a way to pump it better and faster through the body.
Yeah, and they say rebounder, that's a trampoline. It's the same thing.
Just
a rebounder
like that,
is a trampoline. And we're kind of bringing some facts forward on that because we really have discovered how incredible they are.
It was purely by accident. When we first started with our first rebounder, and that was quite a while ago, we just thought this would be a great way to get another way to exercise, because we like using all these fun tools and didn't realize how how much of an impact it made. And we kept doing more and more research. So we're always going to do that for you to give you the best research we can. And we've just learned to love these.
Well, especially I had arthroscopic surgery when I was
Yep.
young days of my athletic career. Then I had 2 knee reconstructions after that. So I've had my knee basically operated on 3 times. So my knee is not always the best, especially on hard surfaces. So I love these because of the impact, or the lack of impact. It's so good for your body. So honestly, that's really why we started using them. I was like, man, I can't pound on the pavement. It hurts me too much.
And on that concrete
So
floor.
yeah, so getting on the trampoline, it feels so good. I could run on this thing half the day.
Which would be great. Now we just need a standing desk, and we could do this with a standing desk and work and move while we're standing.
All right, let's do some more leg strength. We're gonna step out to the side. So it's gonna be a side lunge, and then we're just gonna try to lift with just the one leg. So don't push off that one, just try to lift with the one leg. So we go down to the side, just press, step up with the one leg. I love this because you're really isolating that one thigh. If we do a regular squat, if I do these, you might overcompensate with a stronger leg. So let's say my right thigh might compensate for a weaker left thigh. This, there's no excuse. You're isolating the one thigh. It's not getting any help. And again, you can do this from the floor. You don't have. I do like the trampoline because it gives you a little more height. So it's almost like stepping up a little bit more.
I'm switching because the whole time you were talking, I was doing what you were talking about.
So just step out to the side and really concentrate on that one thigh. Again, if you're doing this with us, you should start to feel your body heating up. You might start to perspire a little. You might get a little out of breath.
That's a good thing.
Which is all good.
That's a great thing. We're building stronger hearts by moving more and providing to you another tool that's helpful. Okay, what else can we do?
We're just
So
marching in
we
place
just
while
did
we're waiting.
50 of these.
Yeah, we're just marching in place. What I like about those and the rear lunge, again, you're working flexibility. You're not just doing squats. You're actually reaching to the rear, which is giving you some hip flexibility. That one we just did out to the side, you're really increasing the flexibility to the hip.
I came up with one earlier and now I don't remember what it was.
Make it up.
We kind of make these up as we go. We've been doing this for so long, and so it's like, oh wait, that'll work.
Well, I like just on the regular march, just as we're walking, Lori already mentioned, really get your arms pumping.
Yep.
That can increase your heart rate by about 10 beats per minute just by using your arms.
Lift your legs higher, especially if you don't have one of these at home, and you're on the floor. Really lift your legs higher. I mean, really bring your legs up and hold in your stomach so you're doing a standing crunch, which is really, really good.
And I'd love to do a scissor step with your arms. So you just think of a pair of scissors, they're chopping. So you just scissor step your legs and swing your arms at the same time.
Okay, now talking is going to be real interesting.
Building a stronger heart. So we encourage you, join us for this entire program. We're going to have, there's weeks and weeks and weeks of these exercises and encouraging you to build a stronger heart. But I would encourage you, get some kind of a step counter. See what your resting heart rate is, because you saw that graphic we just shared. You can lower your resting heart rate, which makes that makes your heart more efficient the rest of the day.
I'm doing this cross.
Oh yeah, Lori's doing the crossover.
Yep.
So trust me, stay with us, do our show as often as you can, as many times as you can throughout the week, and then check your resting heart rate after 30 days. Well, that should have lowered quite a bit.
I love these programs for that very reason. Every day, we're always looking at what was our beats per minute, our resting heart rate, and then our active heart rate, which is amazing. I had to slow down for a second just so I could talk.
You know you're getting a good workout when it gets hard to talk. That's how you know you're really increasing your aerobic activity, which is what we're trying to do today.
By trying to build your heart stronger.
And then make it fun. So you could do 3 or 4 squats, 3 or 4 simple squats, and then run in place for a minute. vary the things, all the exercises we just did. Then you can do a
the
right leg
off.
lift, a left leg lift, a side,
I
a
just
side,
jumped off.
a rear, a couple more squats, and then run or walk.
You can do all of that on the floor.
And this is all lower body. We're just working our legs today.
Boy, are we working our legs today.
I like the cushion. Really love the cushion of the trampoline. And by the way, we've tried a lot of different products, and this is the best one
Oh, this is
that
remarkable.
we have ever tried. You get, what was your favorite leg exercise? A couple minutes left.
Probably stepping to the side.
Side.
Yeah, because then you're really using your post leg to.
So again, if you don't have a trampoline, that's fine. Just in your living room, wherever you are, just reach out to the side and push up.
And you
And I
can,
love-
you don't have to do what he's doing, where he's just doing it one leg up and down. You can actually do this, squat down, put your foot up, just to gain your balance if you're having a hard time with your balance.
The only reason I do that is that helps you isolate. In other words, I know that as I lift this, I'm only pushing and lifting with the opposite leg.
Oh, you'll feel this if you do this about 15 times.
Anyway, largest muscle groups in the body, really gonna get that heart rate working, and we're building a stronger heart.
And sweating in the process,
Yeah.
which is a good thing. It's a way for your body to cool down.
Isn't that amazing though? The Centers for Disease Control recommends a certain amount of exercise per day to stave off different kinds of diseases. We showed you today that it can lower blood pressure, it improves your resting heart rate. So some amazing facts and benefits from exercise.
I hope you had fun today. These are always a lot of fun, full of information, but it's there to benefit you. So do something today for 20 minutes at least.
You can go to our website, it's christianfitnesstv.com. You can send us an email, let us know how you're doing. If you have any questions about the Jump Sport trampoline, reach out to us there. That's also where you can go to order your own, and there's a discount, but you'll hear all about that later. Great discounts for Christian fitness fans. But thank you so much for joining us today. We always pray for you in this
Yes.
3 John 1:2. Beloved, I pray that in all respects you may prosper and be in good health, just as your soul prospers. Thanks for joining us.
Have a great day.
Race.